Evening, everyone. It's about 7:40, and this is your closing comment. It is video number 622, and if you like the work, just scroll down and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Okay, today was pretty much a meaningless day. Volume was light, net changes were incredibly small. The biggest percentage change that we had was actually the Russell. So I'll go through them. The Dow was up $36.12 or 0.12%. NASDAQ was down $2.24, 0.02. The S&P was up 366 or a tenth of a percent. The aforementioned Russell was up $8.26 or 0.38%. And the Dow Jones transports were up $4.65 for a 0.04 change. So very light. The market internals, however, were fairly strong. We were basically 3-2 up on the NYSE and 2-1 up in the NASDAQ. But even though the volume was light, on the New York it was 2-1 up, and on the NASDAQ it was actually 3-1 up. So a pretty interesting day. There was a sell-off at the end of the day, but on a day where we close up or down with these kind of numbers, I can't get excited one way or the other. What I will tell you, though, is that we had some earnings after the close, and they were substantial. eBay and PayPal both reported and both beat. In case you didn't know or have forgotten, PayPal actually came out of eBay, was spun out. The PayPal numbers, as I said, were a beat. The stock had closed $251.90, up $2.80. But when the numbers came out, the stock actually shot up to $270.13, and the last that I have is $268.70, and that was up $19.60 or 7.9%. eBay was actually even better. It had closed at $58.04, up just 71 cents, but with its beat, the stock shot up to $64.95 and closed 64.15, up 682 or 11.9%. So that's pretty substantial. On the downside, we had Qualcomm with a miss. During the day, the stock was literally within pennies of its all-time high at 167.94. But it closed at 162.30, down 248. And after their disappointment, the stock fell as far back as 141.32. So that's $26.50 off the high of the day. And the last was 150.98, and that was down 13.80 or 8.4%. The chart on the screen is the bonds, and we actually went short the bonds today using the TBT calls, and we're in the February 19th, so the normal February expiration, and with a strike price of 18. We paid, and it was trading at 18.05, so a nickel in the money when we bought the calls at 43 cents. And I believe that they closed at, they traded as high as 49. I think they closed at 45 cents. And then in the aftermarket, they actually, the TBT actually made a new high on the day and closed, it looks like, 18.15. So 15 cents in the money for a 43-cent call. I also want to mention two things about Apple. There was news after the close that according to CNBC, confirmed in several places that Apple is in a partnership with Hyundai Kia to do a fully autonomous electric vehicle. Um, I don't know whether it's true, it's not true. They're talking about 2024, 2025. Nothing surprises me. And the other news, in case you missed it, was that Apple did a big debt offering yesterday. They offered I believe 14 billion in six different tranches of debt, and they had bids of 33 million, so well over 2.75 times excuse me, what they were offering, and it sold out. The expected yield was 105 basis points over the treasuries of the same dates in tranches, but demand was so big that they actually did most of them at 0.82, which is about 21% under what was expected. I'm not sure if that really had much of an effect on the bonds today, but you can imagine, you know, 14 billion and people selling bonds in amounts to bid on 33 billion could have affected the market a little bit. I'm more concerned about the deficits and the amount of money that the government is going to print. I've been showing you this chart literally for months, and I'll go out a bit so you can see what I'm talking about. The last major breakout was right in this neighborhood, 166, 167. We broke out and we were in this consolidation, and several times we have actually traded in this consolidation. So let's go back to the daily and you can see what I've been seeing over the last couple of months. And again, as I said, we have traded this in the last couple of months profitably. We bought the same TBT calls here when we broke down, and we had a 4 or 5 day move that was substantial. Sat around and watched it. I put out a sell again here, top of the downtrend line. We had another break to the downside here, and now that we have come back down, I'll show you what this relates to. We've had a couple of weeks of trying to get back up, but as you can see, we haven't been able to get back into that descending triangle. And we got up here last week, early in the week, the 28th, and closed on the low and have followed through. Now, this, I'm not going to take it too far out, but you can see this is the bottom of that triangle, and this is where we've gotten up to, and it looks like we're breaking. The area of support here goes all the way back to last March 2020, and then again here on June the 5th, and again, and now we're below that. So what I'm thinking here is that probably we're certainly going to test this area. The low here is 167.11. Today's low, and we closed pretty close to it, was 67.19, and tonight we are 67.13. Right now 67.14, but we're down 13, and this comes right back into this area of support that we couldn't hold. The low here is 67.05. I don't see why we can't break that in again, going back to the weekly and pushing it out a little so that you can see, I don't see why we can't get back into this area around 160, 164. If we were to get down, we have this moving average, the 100 bar moving average, but I think we can easily go through that and possibly test this area. So, it's a trade that I will be on top of, but I do think that we're going to get an opportunity to make some money with it. And I will be back first thing in the morning. And I've also got on my schedule to do an interview with Dennis Marlowe. He's our commodity trading guy. Probably going to do that over the weekend and include that, a link to it in the Sunday letter. So it'll be something to look forward to. He's always very informative and has been around even longer than I. Have a good one, folks. Don't forget to hit subscribe.